Hey YouTube, today I want to share with you where I'm at with my home office. Now I want to share a little backstory about how I came to be where I'm at. I am currently living in my dream home. There's nothing but walnut. All the trim is in walnut, all the doors are in walnut. There's all kinds of built-ins, the window frames, everything is this charming walnut finish, which, you know, maybe 10 years ago looked really dated, but now that it's 2024, this walnut finish is coming back in a major way. And you can see that because a lot of creators or professionals, they choose walnut accents, right, to elevate their office, and mine already has it built in. So I got these wonderful walnut built-in shelves right here on one side of my office, and so I wanted to create an office that just elevated that overall vibe rather than take away from it. So in other words, I didn't want to make it too modern with too many lights and all kinds of cool stuff, but just the right amount of modern and I guess traditional is what you might call it. So starting from zero, I moved into this house. It's 3,400 square feet, and we were coming from an apartment. So literally this entire house was empty, and we've just been building it up one piece by piece. So I'll go ahead and share a few pictures of where I'm coming from. When I first moved here, I had a Microsoft Surface Pro, and at the time I was pretty happy with it because it was small, light, portable, but then I transformed and I found, or I decided to buy a MacBook when I decided to start taking creating more seriously. So coming in, I had my Surface Pro, I had just a little shitty ass plastic desk, a chair that wasn't even an office chair, right? I had a nasty old printer that didn't even work, and again, I'll share some pictures with you. I wanted to build my office into a place where that invites me to come and work, that inspires me to create, and not only that, but makes it as seamless as possible. So the original purpose of my office was so that I could take my work home. I'm a salesman, and I was that guy that worked 24/7 answering emails, doing shop drawings, doing glass orders, all the kind of stuff that comes with my profession. And then just very recently, I started to just leave my work at work and focus on myself and my own time, which is doing exactly this, which is creating content, mostly for LinkedIn and YouTube. And so I haven't done a YouTube video in a while. I had some side projects come along, some video production side projects, which is pretty exciting because I get to hone my craft, but that's besides the point. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So let me take you to day one. So the very first thing that I did is I drew my office space inside of Shaper 3D, which is a program I just started using a few years ago. And this is probably the very first drawing that I made on that program. And so I wanted to select some furniture that fits my space, but doesn't take up too much space, but then also adds to the walnut built-ins. So I found this cheap Amazon set. It's a two-piece set. And by the way, nothing in my setup is really fancy. It's all about function, aesthetic, but also cost savings. So in fact, I'm recording on a ZV-1F, which I paid $300 for. My other main camera is an Osmo Pocket 3. Neither of those are an FX30, FX3, right? Nothing I have is ultra premium, but I feel like with some love and some hard work, you can make anything work. And so that's what this is all about. So ultimately, I ended up settling on this two-piece desk by Tribe Signs. I think it's called Tribe Signs. I looked it up on Amazon. It's no longer available, but I'll show you a picture. And I like this setup because it's a two-piece, so it'll allow me some flexibility to kind of move things around and you know, just move things as I see fit, and it matches everything, of course, in the room. And I just needed it to put my monitor on, to rest my computer on, and to hide some stuff and have stuff around here for easy access. And I feel like this does exactly that. It doesn't necessarily have casters. It's not a sit-stand desk. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it had to have been less than $200. So everything's super, you know, cheap, super simple, but it looks premium in my space. So the desk itself, it didn't have these holes in it, so I ended up ordering a hole saw and some of those little plastic covers to make those holes look finished. And this way I was able to drill the holes exactly where I needed them to fit the stuff that I have on my desk, which would include of course my monitor, my computer, my phone charger, and a desk lamp, and then anything else that I want to plug in on the side. This smaller piece off to my right is a good place to hide all the power supplies. There's a couple of power strips behind it, which you can't see. It houses my my Wi-Fi modem, which feeds the entire house. And it also just provides a place for me to rest my backpack on when I come into my office and lay my bag down. A couple of drawers have quick access items for stuff that I need, like extra cables, microphones, just anything that looks too cluttered on my desk, but I still have easy access to it. And then as I got into it, that little smaller piece also served as an area to do my product shots. I got a spinner. I got this green screen that I can put on the background. This way I can do my product spinner shots, and they look really good, really professional. I got a couple of cheap LED lights just off to the side to help with some lighting. And not only that, but I like to leave those lights on at all times so that, you know, I can change the color, like green, red, blue, and then there's just that light illuminating out of this office at all times, which looks really, really cool at night. So the star of the show, or the workhorse of my entire setup, is my MacBook Pro, which is a M1 Pro MacBook Pro 14-inch. I bought used for $850. This model has 1 terabyte of storage, 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's not necessarily upgraded in any way except for a little more storage. And I've been rocking this guy for a couple of years now. I actually traded my iMac. The iMac M1 was my very first Mac, and I decided I needed something portable, so I traded up to the MacBook Pro, and that has been a huge game changer for me. So this machine, it's starting to show its age here and there, but it still mostly handles everything I throw at it. For the most part, it's running pretty well. I would very much like to get the M4 Max MacBook Pro, but I just can't justify the cost savings for a little bit of time savings here and there. So yeah, my MacBook Pro, I got it wrapped with a D-brand skin. The brand is called D-brand, and I believe the product is called Black Acid Wash, and it's just a way to make your MacBook look dope and also protect the finish at the same time. Now, the second most important item, I am rocking a 27-inch studio display, and I absolutely love this thing. I've been watching reviews on it since the day it came out. I've been wanting to get it, but it's hard to justify $1,600 for a monitor, right? So eventually I was patient, and there was a Best Buy near me that was closing down. So I was able to pick up the floor model for $400 or $500 off, right? So that was pretty sweet. So I got that bad boy in here, and I am totally blown away, totally impressed. The studio display is by far the best monitor that I've ever had, and I have absolutely no need to upgrade again for probably at least a decade. So the studio display, the webcam isn't the greatest, but so what? I got other cameras for that. The resolution is absolutely incredible. It doesn't have 120 hertz, but I don't really need that. The brightness gets way brighter than I'll ever need it to be. But most importantly, there's a seamless connection to my MacBook. So I love this thing so much that I actually bought a second one for the use at my work office. And so now I got 2 of them, and I bring my laptop in my backpack, and I can just plug them in whatever office I'm at and instantly amplify my workspace. So this is the perfect monitor for creators, and that's what I'm doing in my free time. I used to have the studio display and this little display off to the side for a secondary monitor, but I ended up getting rid of that to simplify the way that my desk looks, and also to narrow down my focus. So I find that by having just my laptop display down below as a reference and my one main display right in front of me, I'm able to get more work done because I'm able to focus on the window or the task at hand. Also, the studio display speakers are absolutely incredible. They're incredibly clear. They got a surprising amount of bass. They get way louder than I'll ever need them to be. I don't use headphones when I edit. I don't have secondary speakers. All that I need is my studio display speakers, and they more than get the job done. Apple products are just second to none in all aspects, including processing power, display resolution, and audio, and of course software integration. So I'm a Mac fan for life, and as time goes on, I of course will upgrade my machines, but that brings me to my next Apple device, which is the iPad mini. Now, the iPad mini also comes with me everywhere I go, and this machine I've had for about 2 or 3 years, and it essentially replaces paper for me. I don't have a printer anymore because I don't need one. I use GoodNotes. I use GoodNotes to run my scripts for this channel. I just have a diary open where I can jot down my ideas. I list down bullet points. In fact, that's what I have right here next to me, you know. So occasionally I can look away and just look at my iPad mini and remember what my points were. Having an iPad is 1,000 times better than a clipboard because you can erase, you can have typed text, and you can add pictures and notate on those pictures, and you have unlimited amount of documents that you can generate, and you can never lose them. So it's an absolute no-brainer. Even if you're not in the Apple system, if you're using a clipboard every day, you really should get an iPad. I like the iPad mini because it fits in my hand. I barely notice it in my backpack, and it has a permanent home on whatever desk I'm at right here next to my MacBook. So whether that be Starbucks, I got my MacBook and my iPad, whether it be here at my home studio, I got my MacBook, my studio display, my iPad, and then I have this exact same setup over at my work office. So moving back to my desk, like I said, it's a cheap, flimsy desk. There's nothing special about it. It matches the aesthetic, which I like, but I guess that gives me the freedom to basically do whatever I want to it and not feel bad. So I drilled a bunch of holes in it to make room for my cables as my setup started to evolve. I bought this little cheap ass desk shelf. The purpose of it was essentially just to raise my monitor and give me the look. I watched tons and tons and tons of desk review videos, and of course I would like the more premium desk shelves. I believe Grove made. There's a couple other ones that are hundreds of dollars for the best of the best and best everything, but I ended up just settling on this one, which I think was like $20 maybe, but I feel like it does the same thing, and I like it. So it just provides a place to attach my wires and hide the holes that I made, and of course raise my monitor and provide another secondary layer to my desk where I can put things like my phone charger and a couple of these fake plants. And then of course underneath my MacBook I have a desk mat. Now this one I got from Amazon. What I like about it is that it has this lighted LED strip around the border, and it just looks cool. It just makes me feel like a cool tech guy, because I guess technically that's what I am, but that I can change that light to match the ambient LED lights in my room. My MacBook just lives on there, and then I'm also a knife collector, so when I'm tuning my knives, it provides a nice even spot for me to lay my knives and my tools on. And then of course I guess the main purpose of it is just to be a mouse pad. At the end of the day, that's what it is. So my phone charger of choice is made by this company called Qzoo. I think that's how you say it. Probably not, but it's this foldable MagSafe charging stand, and technically it's a travel charger, but it has honestly never left my desk. Anyway, what I like about it is that it doesn't take up a lot of space, and I can just have my iPhone 15 Pro Max just right there off to the side charging. I can see it if there's messages. I can utilize functions on my phone, and then I'm also an avid AirPods Pro user. So typically the first thing I do when I sit here at my desk is I put my iPhone on that charger. There's a little slot on my desk shelf next to my charger where I put my MagSafe wallet off to the side so that I don't forget it, and I just leave my AirPods and my phone on there so that they're always topped off and ready to go. And of course it has a Apple Watch charger. I don't have an Apple Watch. I know what you're thinking, right? Big Mac guy, why don't you have an Apple Watch? Well, it's because I'm clumsy, and I bought one knowing that I was going to break it. I tried to baby it, and sure as shit I broke it. So yep, can't have an Apple Watch for the simple fact that I will break it. So the newest member to my desk accessory family is the Lume Cube Edge Light 2.0. Now this light, I've been keeping an eye on it for a long time. It's something I've wanted for a long time, but they're kind of expensive, and one day I decided to bite the bullet and order one, and I could not be happier with this light. It looks incredibly modern. The functionality is unmatched. It gets bright. It gets incredibly bright. I can change the color temperature, and I can position that light wherever I need it. So that's incredibly helpful if I want to do some top-down shots and get some light off to the side, or if I'm fine-tuning one of my knives, I can get that light real close. But yeah, when I'm working at night, I do like to just leave it pointing down on my desk, and I change it to a warmer tone, and it kind of just has a chill, relaxed mode vibe to it, which is really cool. It's not a RGB, but I don't really need it to be. And I couldn't quite clamp it onto the edge of my desk because of the way that this metal frame is very close to the edge of the desk. So what I ended up doing is just drilling a hole right into my desk, and I used that to clamp my light off to the side exactly where I wanted it. And this did two things, right? It allowed me to just run the power cable for it straight through to my desk, so you don't see it around the front side or the back side of my desk, which is visible from the entry of the desk. And also it just looks cool coming right out of my desk. And of course, I had to get one of those little plastic covers, and I cut that down to match that space perfectly, so that it appears that it was planned to be that way, even though that was not my true intention. My studio portion of my YouTube studio is, of course, this newer desk mount system that I have, and it just permanently lives clamped here to the side of my desk. And what this does is it allows a permanent home for my Sony ZV-1F to live, which is what I'm recording on right now, which is attached to that desk mount arm. And this camera never leaves this desk. I of course have the newer, not the newer, I'm sorry, I have a Ulanzi light attached up above. I have it down at a high angle, so it's pointing at my face in this direction. And the reason I have that is so that this side of my face has a shadow on it, so that there's some depth, but then it's not casting too much light on the background. And that light is just set up at the perfect, nothing about my camera or my light changes. All I do is flip it on and hit record, and that just removes the friction when I go to create some of these videos. Now, the ZV-1F is the workhorse, the main workhorse, that my main talking head camera, for quite simply for the ease of use and the fact that it's always there. Image quality on this camera is just fine to do what I'm doing. This is not only good for a permanent place to have my camera, but this arm, what I like about it is that I can kind of push it out of the way when it's not in use. And when I do need to use it, I can just kind of extend it out and position the camera right in front of me. At that same note, I can also adjust that ball head on the end, so I can get the camera right and tilt it down to get some top-down product shots if I need to. This setup right here, just that alone, the light, the stand, and the camera, right? That's literally all that you need to do what I'm doing now. And I found a way to integrate that right here onto my desk, so that it's all in one and it doesn't look too cluttered, because there's not an additional tripod, right, taking up valuable real estate. And also, I don't like having a bunch of tripods, set up, and C-stands set up, because this technically is a YouTube studio, but it's also an office. And part of my goal here wasn't just to create a YouTube studio that I'm able to produce these videos for you, but I also wanted to look attractive and sleek and modern, right? So when someone walks in, they kind of look in my office like, oh damn, that's a nice office. And that's actually the entire reason why I have my desk set up the way that it is, so that the back of my studio display is actually facing the entry of the door, so that's the first thing that you see when you look in this room, is you see the front side of my desk, absolutely no visible wires, and you see that studio display in this edge grip lamp over here. And that combination, it just looks incredibly professional. I'm very, very proud of where I've come. Of course, it's always evolving, but I'm very happy with where it's at, especially when you compare it to this, right? This is where I started, and this is where I'm at. Oh, excuse me, that's my stupid cat trying to get in here. Okay, sorry about that. My cat decided to bust into the door. I try to keep the doors closed when I'm recording my talking headshots to avoid distraction, but of course there's no avoiding the cats, right? So where was I? Oh, and what's that behind me? This is my picture of downtown Denver. That's where I'm at. I'm in Denver, Colorado, and I just really like that picture. I just love the vibe and aesthetic. It almost makes me feel like I'm at a downtown condo, even though I'm not. It almost makes me feel like I'm downtown, and that's my view off my balcony, right? Or a view out my window. But that's just this massive picture, and I got it for two reasons, really. One, A, is I love the way that it looks because it's my hometown, and B, it's a canvas print, right? So it kind of helps me dampen some of the echo in this office, and I can certainly do a better job, and I'm getting there piece by piece, but that was basically the main idea of that picture behind me, was to dampen the echo on top of looking dope AF, my friend. That brings me to my final piece of gear for this office slash studio, and that is the Secret Labs Titan Evo, the Dark Knight edition, which I'm sitting in right now. Now, this is one of those items that I've been wanting for a long time, basically since the moment it was released. In the Dark Knight specifically, I was in love with it, and I wanted it, but I couldn't justify over $700. I think it was like $700 plus shipping, right? And probably plus tax, so you're probably looking at close to $1,000 for a fucking chair, right? So really, probably a Herman Miller would probably be better, but in all honesty, I've never had a premium office chair before in my life. I've always had hand-me-downs. My very first office chair when I moved in here wasn't even an office chair at all. It was just a shitty little, I don't know, art chair that we picked up on the side of the road that I was utilizing for probably a couple years before I upgraded to another shitty ass hand-me-down office chair. But anyways, this I guess technically is a gaming chair, but it is by far the best chair that I ever had. I can, lean back. The adjustability is perfect. The rotating things are perfect. What I love most, I guess, is the fact that these arms, right? I can adjust these arms up and down, front and back, and that's important for me for when I want to work, because I like to scoot my chair up really close to the ledge of the desk, and being able to get those armrests and move them back and down, left, right, forward, backwards. That just helps and get just the right, I guess, posture so that I can type on my MacBook, which, by the way, I don't have a exterior keyboard. I just utilize the built-in trackpad and keyboard on my MacBook, and I'm perfectly happy doing that. Of course, I gotta have the Magic Mouse. I keep that with me everywhere I go. It stays in my tech bag, which I have a video about that, a dedicated video about what's in my tech bag. But the Magic Mouse comes with me everywhere because there's some programs that are just better to be used with a mouse instead of a trackpad. That would include my two most used programs, which are Shaper 3D and also, of course, CapCut. So I am a CapCut editor. In fact, the most successful videos on my channel are about editing or teaching how to edit on CapCut. So I'm just trying to find different ways or better ways to get better at doing that so I can ultimately share it with you. And but until then, I thought I would bring you into my life and just show you where I'm at with my office. I'm very happy with it, and of course, as I upgrade, I'll go ahead and do more review style videos like this. This wasn't necessarily a review on any one product. It was just showing you where I'm at in my journey. I just started making content this year on YouTube, 2024. I hopefully am getting better, but I'm just kind of tailoring all the tools around me for the purpose of making these videos and learning to get better. And ultimately, I'm here for the long run, and I look forward to many more videos, and I'm here for new creators, and my purpose is to serve my community. So if you found any value, if you have any questions about anything that's in my office, you probably don't, because I'm not nearly as cool as the other tech reviewers in our space with all the stuff, but I feel like I've come a long way, and I'm very happy with my setup. And what about you? What kind of computer do you run? Do you have the best of the best, or do you just have something that works that you can be proud of, right? That's ultimately what it's about for me, right? Nothing that I have is necessarily top of the line, but I make the best of it. So I get my money's worth, if you will, out of all my products, and I try not to buy my products brand new, and I just feel like that kind of softens the blow of the incredibly high price tag of a lot of the stuff that exists today. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace.